Australia's a land of sweeping plains, and it's no wonder that our fencing practice has a love affair with a perfectly vertical fence post. We've got lots of flat country to fence, and we want our fences to look good and stand up nice and straight. But a vertical fence post might not always be the best solution. Today, we're talking about dealing with steep country, and we're going to take a lesson out of the Kiwis book. Before we start building our fence, of course, we've got to get our post selection right. Now, there's a lot of different options out there on the market. Today, I'm working with a really strong post. I'm working with the stock post from White's Rural, and it's available in two basic sizes. You've got your stock post XL, and you've got your regular size stock post, which will be familiar to anyone who's been using steel posts in the past. Now, the stock post XL is basically double the size and weight, and it's available in three different sizes from 1.8 to 2.4 meters in length. Now, these are available in a ute pack. The standard size steel posts are available in a bigger range of sizes. They go from 1.35 meters right through to 2.4 meters, and there's 6 different sizes available. Two of the most popular sizes, their 1.65 and their 1.8, are available in a ute pack of 200 with no wire binding them together, which is a real advantage if you're putting out bulk runs and you want to keep your posts secure in the back of the ute. Today we're using the Fence Stay Steep Terrain End Assembly kit so that we can take advantage of a full steel end assembly without the fiddly fabrication in a difficult location. There's a video on how to put this thing together at the end of this one, probably worth a watch. Before we go on, I've got a trigger warning for Australian fencers. This next bit could be a bit confrontational. We've got a perfectly vertical post put in the ground, and then we've got this thing hanging off to the side. Which do you think is the better choice for this 35-degree slope? Well, our Kiwi friend Mully reckons this is the way to go. And he reckons that the Australian fascination with a fart in a bottle is making us fence wrong on steep country. Now that we've got all of our posts laid out and our cider posts perfectly in line to go over the hill, I'm going to be using some stock post XLs just up on the two top shoulders of this hill, because there's a bit of a flat section to my left, and we want to be able to support that change of direction with this stonking big 6.3 kilo post. So using stock post XLs on change of direction is a top tip. This one's a workout. Now that I've got the two posts in on the shoulders of the hill, I'm putting in my bottom ground wire, which is actually a fair bit off the ground in this fence because it's going to be an electric cattle fence. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten this just snug, not too tight, and then I'm going to go back up to my two shoulder posts and tie them off, giving me a nice straight wire that runs over the top of the hill so I can line all the rest of my line posts up and put them in perfectly straight. The advantage of leaving the strainers on the end assembly with the first ground wire is I can now back the ground wire off enough to allow it to come up evenly across the slope with good tension. If I had have tensioned this up to a guesstimate, I'd be cutting this wire now and putting a knot in it needlessly. So by letting the tension off now, I'm going to set the rest of the wire up on the posts and then bring it back up to tension and tie off. With each of these wires, I've actually strained them at the end once we get everything clipped off and in place. Because it's an electric fence, you want a bit of bounce in the fence, you don't want it overly tight. Because we're fencing quite a steep slope with lots of camber changes, we've decreased the post spacing to 4 meters. You might even have to go to 3 meters with some terrain. And as a result of that, we've obviously chosen to go with medium tensile wire, so we still have some ductile flex between the posts. So the reason why we've gone with the slope for our post, rather than putting the post in vertical, is that if I lifted this post up, it would actually drop the height of the fence and reduce its performance. Not only that, but the tension is pulling down on the wire as it goes over the slope. If the post was vertical, the tension wouldn't be straight down the post and into the ground, rather it would be on the side, and the post could easily lean over time. This practice of leaning posts with the slope takes a bit to get our Australian heads around. The New Zealanders have been at it for years, but it's worth having a think about the next time you're dealing with tricky, slopey fencing country. If you liked this video and you found these tips useful, smash that subscribe button and we'll see you next week.